Hello guys, this is Rox, and in this series I'm gonna make you a better player in Dune Awakening. For this lesson we are gonna learn advanced / creative ways of mobility. So let's go. First, what you are gonna need and which skills are important for mobility. You're gonna need a flask of water, which make sure you equip it in your loadout, like shown on screen, and I'll explain this part later in the video. And obviously, your power pack and your suspensors. And I assume you have your vehicle backup tool with you all the time. This is completely optional guys, and you don't need it. I'm just showing it exists as it does improve mobility. The improved suspensor jacket further reduces the power consumption of all your suspensors. And you can find this in the Imperial Station 60. Later on in the video I'll show a side-by-side example with and without the jacket. As for skills, I have full step-by-step guides for advanced trained quests in the channel. On your Trooper skill 3, you should get Gigawire Claw, which is your hook and your best friend. You should have it at least level 2, since level 1 is way too low. I personally don't need level 3. Battle Hardener technique, as this will lower the cooldown of all your Trooper abilities. Keep in mind this technique only applies to the Trooper skill trees. It will not affect the cooldowns of your other skill trees. Yet this is so good that it's still worth to get even if just for your hook. So this is mandatory to max. And also get suspensor efficiency and max it out, as this is extremely handy to have. In the Planetologist skill 3, you should get rerouting for power regeneration. This is godly, max this. And also you should get overcharge to increase your maximum power. Longer time using suspensors, better shield, mandatory to have in any build. In Ben Gesserit 3, you should get Bindu Sprint, and you should max this one. And finally, in your Swordmaster skill 3, you should get General Conditioning, max this out, mandatory, as stamina is extremely important in this game, for dodges and for using your abilities. This Shiplet Breathing is very good, as it increases your stamina regen, not much to say, you get back in action faster. And finally, optimized hydration. Level 2 is enough, but if you have spare points, you can put this level 3. The more, the better. Let's say all of these together will make you a mobility god. And in total, you should have 2 abilities and 2 techniques. The rest are passives, leaving you with a free slot for any ability of your choice, and also 1 free slot for 1 technique of your choice. But in this video is not about builds. That lesson comes in the near future. In 10 seconds before we start, when you exit your scout chopper or your bike, you can store them right away, else sometimes you will need to wait a couple seconds. This is not mobility related, but gets you in action faster. And now let's learn advanced and creative ways of mobility. Starting with the main star, your hook. If you applied what I mentioned before, you should have only 5 seconds cooldown for your hook ability. When people say the word hook, people usually think in walls, roofs, mountains, and they are absolutely right to think that way. Yet some forget one last place that they can hook to move faster: the ground. So for example, if you hook the ground and combine it with Leap, Full or Emperor suspensors, you can move much faster. Which, by the way, there is a suspensor lesson in the channel, which I think is very complementary for this video. So feel free to check it out. You can also use the hook in the ground for when you have to cross horizontally from one side to another. So yeah, hooking the ground is pretty handy. To reach places like windows, platforms or rooftops, don't aim your hook at the edge, as your brain kinda tells you to do it by default. At least is what mine did. Because if you do so, you'll face situations where your characters goes way higher than needed, and you will get hit by some extra bullets. Instead, you should aim slightly lower, and you will start looking like a professional. There will be situations where you cannot hook the roof or something higher, like to cross somewhere. On those situations, use your suspensor by holding jump, as it will give you a lift and then your hook might be able to reach it. And of course you can also use creativity and take advantage of your environment. Like for example, you can jump into stuff to increase your reach. And then you can always use your suspensor again for the lift, and the chances for you reaching the place you want to reach are much higher. And of course this works with Leap, Full and Emperor suspensors. And now that the basics are done, let's step up our game a little bit. Imagine that you forgot to repair your power pack and it breaks while you are mid-air. So rip? Nah, just kidding. If you have a building or a mountain nearby, or even a vehicle, just before you land, you can simply hook to mitigate or even nullify fall damage. Mitigate in this case means absorbing a portion of falling damage. Of course, you don't need to go this extreme, as you can simply grapple and grab yourself against a wall or a building, and then keep climbing your way down. While you are holding yourself against the wall, if you press and hold jump, it will activate your suspensor. You can use your hook to go all the way up. But like I said, there are two ways of doing this. You can either press forward while you are using your hook, but sometimes it's better to press backwards instead. And this way you will launch yourself higher comparing if pressing forward. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Please leave a like or a comment if this is helping. And obviously don't use your hook to your front or things like this happen. Imagine you are pointing your hook to which way you want to go. In this case, upwards. I'll give you a different scenario where you can apply this. For example, you want to go through a big distance like this, and we want to get in that place over there. Since we need to go up, pretend you don't have a wall like to push yourself high in the sky, so you need to hook yourself in the ground. Using a full suspensor can easily get you in there, as full suspensor makes your character go higher in height at the cost of more power. But we can reach the exact same place with the Emperor or Lip suspensors, with a touch of what we just learned before. So let's do the same, hook the ground. As you notice, we don't have height to reach there, but that's okay, as we will improvise. You can use the hook anywhere, press backwards to increase your height, and get to the very same place easily. Quick tips if you are using planar or responsive belt. While you are using them, don't forget to exit suspensor state whenever you want to hook, like so. Or else this will happen, as these suspensors don't go up. And of course you can hook below the edge to get the professional landings. With responsive belt you can even do bunny hoppings, something that you do for fun and for combat. It's not like you are impossible to hit, but trust me, even slight movements in PvP or even for NPCs are enough to make them miss some shots. This is something that feels nice to use, to be honest. And of course, like shown on screen, you can shoot things while doing it. Now let's enter in the more advanced terrain. Let's pretend you wanna go from one mountain to another, but you wanna be sneaky without a chopper. This method is slower than a chopper, but like I said, is somewhat a stealth mode. For three reasons: you are smaller, you make less noise, and you have the element of surprise. So watch your surroundings and use your creativity. In this case, I'm gonna use this juicy aluminium node that is looking at us right here. And this node will help me get higher instead of hooking the ground. Let's just wait for the sun to come for better visibility. Let's assume we want to go from this mountain to that mountain over there. For this you have to use a full suspensor belt, because the distance is huge. And when you are high in the sky, you have two options. You can either continue to brute force your way through with the full suspensor, which is faster, but gives you less time to analyze and plan your next move. Or the other way is once you reach the peak of your height, keep an eye on your power bar by the way, switch to planar suspensor belt, as this one consumes less power than the responsive one, but keep in mind that the responsive is better than planar for PvP because it's faster to turn. And I'm gonna add a quick note right here. To switch suspensors slightly faster, keep your suspensors in the right side of your inventory. It's a minor difference, but every second matters. This second way is much slower, but allows you to storm your way in with a more precise aim. Since for obvious reasons, these suspensors will help you with stability, so it's easier for you to aim while in the air. And of course, fighting or not, you can simply grab yourself to a wall, wait a bit to recover power, switch to full suspensor again, pocket yourself back up and repeat. Creativity can enter here, as you can sneak up on someone in deep desert for example, or you can use this method to run away without making noise with your chopper. Now we can do what I call a cinematic entrance. Use your Lip, Full or Emperor suspensors to launch yourself in the sky, in your enemy's direction, NPC or player. Make sure to equip your weapon, switch mid-air to responsive, and surprise your enemies. And remember, you can mix bunny hopping to help mitigate some damage. Or stand still for a better aim. You can come from above, from sideways, everyone can have their creative ways right here. Right here I'm gonna apply a bit of everything. I'm gonna climb using backwards. Go above the destination in purpose, so I have time to switch suspensors mid-air, and then...
I will take you!
With a bit of practice, guys, you will start to feel like a movie star. Using your scout chopper, together with your vehicle backup tool, you can also do some weird yet fantastic things. With your vehicle stored, throw yourself in the skies and go super high with full suspensor, for example. And even if you use all of your power, you can use your vehicle backup tool to deploy your scout chopper mid-air. But don't do this, don't spawn your chopper like on top of you, else strange things might happen. And also, don't worry, even if you are not piloting the chopper, it falls from the sky very slowly, so it gives you time for everything. When you land on your chopper, you will recover your power and your stamina. If this is helping, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel, as supporting is free. And here you can do 3 things. Jump down and use the hook in your chopper, make sure to come back like a boomerang to grab it. Of course, while you are in the air, you can unleash your childhood take you. You can hook and store your vehicle and keep repeating the process, and basically stay in the air for an infinite amount of time, or simply enter your chopper and drive away. You can practice this around your base with less altitude if needed, as practice makes perfection. Also, don't try to spawn your chopper while you are speeding using your suspensors. Of course, it's possible to catch your chopper, but without practice, this might go wrong and you miss it. And if this happens, you have to do 2 things instantly. Immediately scan the area to see if you have rocks, so you can rocket yourself back to your chopper, and keep an eye on your chopper all the time, so you don't lose sight of it, which shouldn't be hard since it's falling from the sky very slowly. If you do not have rocks nearby, switch immediately to a planar suspensor belt, and keep spamming it to slow your fall so you don't die to the worm. That should be enough to save your skin, but you gotta act fast, so if you're planning to do this, always bring a planar suspensor belt with you, for just in case. Again, planar because it uses less power than responsive. Use and abuse Bindu Sprint. This skill maxed out, together with the stamina passives, is insanely good for farming faster, clearing stations faster, and engaging and disengaging combat. And here is where the flask of water enters in action. As you drink water and you cross these lines, you'll get the stamina buff from your optimized hydration passive, which is awesome. Use your action bar, which is your loadout, to drink water quickly, especially if you are in PvP. If you are in PvE, you can keep the water in your inventory, and this allows you to use Bindu Sprint for longer duration and cover insane distance super fast. In fact, it's so fast that people can hardly catch you. And even if you are in PvP, the chance of the other player also have Bindu Sprint, high water and hydration passive is kinda low, so you'll most likely outrun him, and this will give you time to breathe or disappear from your enemy's radar, where you can simply get in your chopper and get away, or hide in a corner. As promised, a side-by-side comparison with the improved suspensor jacket and without. It looks subtle, but the improved suspensor jacket will last longer. And now you can combine your hook techniques with Bindu Sprints to make you move around the world much faster. You'll farm faster, roam around the map faster, get in and get out of stations faster, log in the game faster, everything faster. Of course, when you are inside the stations, you can switch your Bindu skill for a combat ability, which by the way, you will have to wait for the cooldown to finish to be able to switch your ability. Let me know if you have your own creativity and mobility tricks in the comments, or simply leave your feedback. Hope you enjoyed this lesson.
Remember your lessons, and the door to the future will open.
Consider leaving a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Rox is out.